Welcome to another edition of the Wedding Wednesday Report. I'm here with Lisa Hogg from The Wedding Affair and Wedding Hour Live and Wedding Hour and numerous other wonderful things. It's very exciting because Wedding Hour Live is about to start in about an hour and a half, I think, roughly, and the guests will be arriving. We're here at Newby Hall and I'm speaking with Lisa because she is one of our advisory board members, and as such we do look to Lisa for inspiration. And she's an inspiration in herself with the fact that she's come up with a very unique idea, and that idea is #wedding-hour. So I'm not going to say any more. I'm going to hand over to Lisa and ask her what it is and how she came up with the idea.
Well, it was back in October 2012.
Yeah.
I was on Twitter and I wasn't very good at Twitter. So I thought, I was going through all the tweets and I suddenly saw Yorkshire had an hour. And it was #Yorkshire Hour.
Right.
And it was then that I thought, do you know what? We're in Yorkshire. Wouldn't it be great if I could precede it or go after it? So I just had a thought in my head. It was about 10 o'clock at night. Rang a few people, tweeted a few people and said, what do you think to the idea? And they were like, go for it. So I actually contacted Yorkshire Hour and said, would you mind?
Oh, that was nice.
She said no. So I then got a few times from people of what would be best. Now, bearing in mind that theirs is 8 to 9.
So theirs was the premium
spot,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. So I actually decided that it was on a voting system for all the people that I knew. And they said 7 to 8 was putting the children to bed and having dinner. And 9 to 10 would be chill out. So it would be perfect time. So that's what started. So I just went for it with half a dozen people. Turned into a dozen, turned into 20, 30, and then all of a sudden it sort of increased over the week.
It's international now. I mean, I know I've seen some of my colleagues and friends from the US jump onto Wedding Hour, so I know it's travelled, and I know that you trend quite regularly at number 2 or 3, don't you, or even number 1?
Yes. Well, trending is very difficult in Twitter because it's actually part of something new. So if a hashtag trends, it's because it's new. So right back at the very beginning we were even hitting the number 1 spot most weeks, and it's died off on the trending side because it's no longer new.
No, that's right.
But we have been listed as the top 25 hours in the world,
which is huge. And for somebody who said they didn't know much about Twitter,
I didn't.
I'm pretty impressed.
I certainly didn't know anything about Twitter, and it's just grown, and I've worked tirelessly on it for months on end, weeks on end. I think the only time in 18 months that it's been going, I had Christmas Day off this year. I tweeted a few times, scheduled a few tweets.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've done it every Wednesday for 18 months.
Which is great advice for our students. It just shows that you cannot, under any circumstances, expect a business to just take off, or an idea, because obviously you already had an existing business. This was just another idea to help catapult your existing business.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had a lot of help with it as well.
Of course.
Because Joe from Spray PR, who was very good at hosting, so for the evenings as well. People always question me on Twitter saying, Wedding Hour, do you have lots of help? Do lots of people help you? And really it's been Joe and one other lady from another venue who's also semi-hosted it with me. But generally speaking, I do it all the time, and people are quite surprised that I sit there between 9 o'clock really is the start time for Wedding Hour, but I start about 6 in the afternoon, early evening, and don't finish till midnight replying.
Wow.
Well, there's about between 6,500 and 9,000 tweets an hour every Wednesday. So
all generated by #wedding-hour.
Absolutely, yes.
So many of our students at the UK Academy of Wedding and Event Planning are studying some form of planning, whether it's event planning or whether it's wedding planning. Right. And obviously Wedding Hour Live is an event.
Absolutely.
So what can you tell me about what went into the preparation and planning for Wedding Hour Live, and maybe give us some behind the scenes tips as to what you were doing?
I've been running the Wedding Affair Network for about 4 years now, and it's literally in the last 18 months turned into Wedding Hour Live, basically because everybody wanted to meet each other, particularly in North Yorkshire, when they're tweeting in Wedding Hour. So the first thing I do when I'm doing an event like this is contact everyone involved in making the event a success. So you've got, I mean, in this case, we've got Papakata in the Spiri tent, we've got florists, we've got musicians, caterers, bars, printing companies for the stationery. There's about 16
suppliers.
people that involve, major people that are involved, and I go to my suppliers first so that I can promote them, we'll blog about them, we'll feature them.
So people that regularly exhibit at your wedding fairs?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So really, I work with probably about 20 or 30 venues, so I have good relationships with them, and one of the things that's great for them is to have all these suppliers turn up at their door.
Absolutely, because they're all wedding professionals who could potentially work in their venues and bring them clients.
Absolutely, and what they'll do is they'll go away, and hopefully all these people will be talked about after the event, and they'll also get work through the other suppliers and venues, of course, come to the event as well.
And of course, you know what? It's really nice to get up off of our backsides, away from our phones, our iPads, our computers, etc., and actually physically talk to each other, meet each other face to face, put the technology aside and network, do some good old-fashioned networking.
Absolutely. Well, we had one in October. We always theme it, so tonight is sort of Gatsby inspired, but what the problem we had last time being Halloween, we had a Halloween theme, everyone fancy dressed and no one recognised each other anyway.
No, it was quite interesting. I do remember that. It was a lot of fun.
Tonight it's all about glamour, Hollywood, and obviously the Spiri tents being launched tonight. So
fab. So Lisa, Wedding Hour isn't your only product. Your actual company is The Wedding Affair, which is celebrating 5 years in business. So congratulations for that. That's no mean feat, because a lot of businesses start off and it is around that 3 to 5 year point where they either make it or break it. So the fact that you are still here and you're going strong is very exciting. But can you just tell our viewers exactly what The Wedding Affair is?
The Wedding Affair is a company that specialises in having a supplier directory out there for brides to be able to look on the website and find the top people in the industry in this particular area which we are in, which is North Yorkshire, but we do cover Yorkshire in total at this moment. But the suppliers that we're gaining over the last few years are coming from nationally, from all over as well. We specialise in working with stately homes, castles and historical buildings. So the very
worst places to be working.
Absolutely. The very top end of the industry, and we run wedding fairs in some of these venues. So we have about 14 wedding fairs a year, and we run those twice a month. And some of the months aren't actually covered, because obviously the summer months for the suppliers is very, very busy.
Absolutely.
And the winter months, nobody wants to know, it's Christmas and everyone's in party mode.
So there's certain months that are going to be busier than others. But obviously being in business for 5 years, as we said, is no mean feat, but there's usually some defining moments over a period of time that really stand out as to how you've managed to be successful. And I know certainly for our students, most of them wanting to launch their own business. So it's always interesting for them to hear how other people have done it, how they've gone on to succeed. So what are your defining moments?
I think my thoughts are it's planning. Everything has to be planned. I come from an administration background. Everything's about organisation, lists upon lists, and checking off everything that's been done. And the one thing that I think the Wedding Affair is very hot on is the fact is we like to be the best, we like to work with the best, and we want to satisfy not only the venues, the clients, the suppliers and the wedding professionals that we work with, but also the brides attending our events too. So we want them to go away and say that was the best organised wedding fair I've ever been to.
And you apply that within your everyday business as well?
We do, yes, we do.
So as I said, we've got lots of students who all want to launch their own business, and there's many newbies coming into the industry, and obviously they're all looking to make a success of what they do. So what would be a piece of advice you would give them for launching their own business?
First and foremost, you've got to be prepared to work hard. It is a very competitive market out there, and people expect the best. As soon as you make a mistake, lots of people know about it. So you've got to work hard. I think the other thing is to learn. Always look to learn,
Continued
to continue
education.
Absolutely. The very first thing that I ever did before opening the Wedding Affair was to go on a business course. So I covered all subjects from accounts through to marketing to PR to, you know, everything that I could possibly have that I knew about my business. And to know everything about your business, to know everything from the accounts through to writing letters, to writing press releases, to working directly with clients. Absolutely, you have to work at it, and putting in a lot of hours. Unfortunately, I mean, whether you work
from home,
there's no quick
fix, is there? There's no easy way.
Yeah, when you look at it, you might be paid £2 an hour at this rate sometimes.
And that's realistic, believe me.
But you have to work. I mean, we work 7 days a week and a good 12 to 16 hours a day, depending on what's going on. But, you know, if you make it fun and enjoyable, it's
not like work, is it?
No.
And did you have a business mentor at all? Did you have somebody that was there to guide you, or a business coach in any way, shape or form that really made it possible for you, someone to lean on and go to for advice?
Not really, but I did go, as I say, go and learn as much as I possibly could. I also worked with some major international business coaches before I started the Wedding Affair.
Okay.
So I had lots
so you had a head start.
I did. I knew what I needed to do to create a business from the back office right the way through to earning some profit at the end of the day.
Excellent. Well, Lisa, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I am so excited for everybody to arrive.
Thank you.
And for the evening to begin. We are going to be interviewing some of the guests as they're here to see what they think of Wedding Hour.
Absolutely, that would be
Wedding
wonderful.
Hour Live, which will be exciting. So remember, Lisa is actually on the advisory board for the UK Academy of Wedding and Event Planning. She has many pearls of wisdom to give away, and she's an absolute whiz at marketing. So she's a good person's brains to pick if you want to know anything about marketing and coming up with creative ideas. Don't forget, jump on the website, have a look at the courses that we offer. The website address is www.weddingplanningacademy.co.uk. So until next week, see you later.